Greetings, people of Earth. I bring you good tidings of M20 and Elementals. So today's deck tech is going to be talking about Temur Elementals, and we're going to get into a little gameplay after that. But before we do so, I do have to thank Wizards of the Coast for this sweet sponsored early access event for M20. We get to play all of the cards that are in Standard right now. That includes M20, which hasn't come out yet, but it's going to next week, so get ready for that, guys. I hope you are as excited as I am, and all day today, I'm going to be playing this event and making videos, so those will be coming out over the next week and a half for you guys. So if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so right now, so you see the rest of those videos as they're coming out. So, without further ado, again, thank you, Wizards of the Coast, and let's jump into this deck tech. So this is like a mid-range Elementals deck. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like aggro, but we've got a lot of kind of aggro pieces, and really there are a ton of ways you can build Elementals right now, and I'm going to be doing several of them. This is one, and I'm not sure it's perfect, but it's usable, I think. So let's go ahead and talk about this. We've got mostly cards from M20 in here, so a lot of these will probably be cut out and replaced with other things. But I wanted to use more of the new stuff, so if you don't recognize these cards, that's fine, that's why you're here, right? So we do play 2 Lightning Stormkin, which is an Elemental Wizard, costs 2 mana, it's a 2/2 with Flying and Haste, which is really good. A 2/2 with Flying and Haste for 2 is very strong, especially because it's an Elemental, which we have a lot of support for right now. Also, if you're wanting to play like Is It Wizards, this is a possible thing while we still have Adelies in Standard for like 2 months or something. So keep that in mind. We also play Creeping Trailblazer, which is another 2/2 for 2, but this one is kind of our anthem creature. Is that what they're called? Anyway, this gives all our other elementals +1/+0. And it has an ability that can buff itself up really big if we have a lot of elementals on the field, so that's pretty nice. A little bit expensive ability, but usually it's fine for what we want. If we run out of cards later on in the game and we're wanting to play aggressive, this is a good creature to do that with. Of course, here in the lower end, we're also just playing some Shocks and Lightning Strikes, because we will be wanting to just use straight up normal removal against a lot of our opponent's threats, because we don't have a lot of interaction other than that. We do have a little bit of interaction with Omnath, Locus of the Roil, so why don't we go ahead and talk about this card. This costs 4 mana, one of any color, a green, a blue, and a red, if you could not read already, and it's a 3/3 legendary elemental creature, so that's why we're only playing 3 of them, just because it's legendary. I don't want to get stuck with these in hand, because of the legendary rule. Now, when Omnath, Locus of the Roil, enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. This is a very, very, very good ability. It's especially good because there's a lot of stuff in the meta right now that can give your opponents hexproof, and so we want to make sure we're not forced to like deal damage to ourselves or something. So if this said deal damage to target player, we could end up being forced to deal that to ourselves, which is always like a shame concede, really, if you accidentally do that. But we can use this as just straight up aggressive. You go for the face with this damage. You can remove a Planeswalker. You can remove creatures. You can do a lot of things with this. Also, don't forget this ability. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under you control, put a +1/+1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So this is a very, very nice ability as well. So if we get this on turn 4 and then we continue to play lands, this can buff up our elementals, including itself, and then it can start drawing us cards later. And this works really well with the ability of Risen Reef. Now, Risen Reef is a 3 mana 1/1, which kind of sucks. That's crappy stats, but the ability is well worth the cost here. So whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under you control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it in your hand. So this is basically a free draw, except better, because if we, instead of drawing a land that we can't use immediately, we can just go ahead and put that land right onto the battlefield, which is going to do a couple of things for us. Obviously, we just talked about Omnath, Locus of the Roil. This will put a +1/+1 counter on an elemental, but also it can just give us a lot of lands, which we want to have because of Nissa, who shakes the world, because we're going to turn those lands into more creatures. So we are running 2 Nissa, who shakes the world. She's a very powerful Planeswalker right now. And whenever you tap a force for mana, you add an additional green, which is nice. That can ramp us up to a little bit more, allow us to just do more with the mana that we have. Also, we can use this ability to put extra counters on these land elementals that we have. So this is a very, very powerful just suite of abilities that we've got. Now, in addition to Risen Reef, we're also playing Living Twister here. Living Twister has been in the meta since War of the Spark, and it's kind of found a home in Gruul midrange and Gruul aggro, just because it's got a big butt, so it's a nice blocker for aggro decks, and it can eventually kind of attack for us, and its ability is actually quite nice. So one of the ways we can use this ability is we can return a tapped land to our hand and then put it back onto the battlefield to trigger Omnath, Locus the Roil's ability. If we have nothing else to do, we can do that. Or we can just discard land cards and deal damage to any target. And since we're going to be having a lot of lands on the field, presumably because of Risen Reef's ability, we have the freedom to put things back in our hand and discard them, right? So that's actually pretty nice. Not to mention this is a 5 toughness, so it's hard to remove. It doesn't die to Lava Coil, doesn't die to Lightning Strike, and it's going to get buffed by our Creeping Trailblazer and our Chandra Novice Pyromancer, which is wonderful. We also play Overgrowth Elemental, which is a new card. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target elemental creature you control. So that's great. Already good. And then whenever another creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, which is nice against aggro decks, as you can imagine. And then if that creature was an elemental, put a +1/+1 counter on Overgrowth Elemental. Now, since we're only playing elemental creatures, we're always going to be buffing this bad boy up whenever another creature dies, not to mention gaining that 1 life, which seems like negligible, but it's actually kind of important. Okay, so let's get into the Planeswalkers we're playing. We're playing quite a few, but not that much of any one. So we're playing 2 Shondra Acolyte of Flame, and the main reason we're playing this is because of her 0 ability that creates 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste and sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. With some of the creatures we have, this is an insane combo, right? So let's say we have Risen Reef on the field. We play Chandra and use her 0 to create 2 elemental creatures, and we get this ability twice. We're going to either draw 2 cards or put lands on the battlefield, which is just insane for a 0 for her, oh my gosh, 0 loyalty ability. Also, if we're getting down dangerously low with her loyalty, we can use her other 0 to put a loyalty count on each red planeswalker we control, which let's get onto this other red planeswalker, which is the other Chandra Novice Pyromancer. Now, this one has a +1 that gives elementals you control +2/+0, which is very good with the other Chandra, not to mention that we're playing loads of other elementals, so that's really, really nice. We can also just use her -1 to add some mana to our mana pool to play some bigger stuff that we do have, like the other Chandra, the biggest Chandra, or the Cavalier of Flame, which we'll get to in a minute. This also can just -2 to deal 2 damage to any target, which is actually pretty nice. It's nice to have these versatile abilities here to either just buff our creatures up and attack for the win, or we're just removing things, or just pinging our opponent down just a little bit. Now, we've already talked about Nissa, who shakes the world. Let's talk about Cavalier of Flame. I wasn't sure about playing Cavalier of Flame, but I decided I kind of have to if we're playing elementals in these colors. I like this card. It's fine. I'm not crazy about it with the rest of the stuff we have, just because it's kind of expensive, and we want to be playing Nissa or Chandra with all this mana. But let's talk about it anyway. So it's a 6/5 creature, which is pretty big, and it only costs 5 mana. It is a little bit tough to cast because it costs 3 red, but since we're going to be playing Unclaimed Territory, this should be reasonably easy to hit, right? Now, whenever Cavalier of Flame enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. So if we're flooding out, if we have a lot of lands, we can discard them, draw that many cards, so we filter our hand a little bit. Then whenever Cavalier of Flame dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Now, this works really well with its enter the battlefield ability that can discard land cards and draw us other cards, and Living Twister, which is also going to be potentially discarding land cards to deal damage. So this can work out pretty nicely for us. This is not like the point of the deck, but it is a nice thing we can do. But the main reason we play this is for the end of the battlefield ability, and it's just got a big body. It's bigger than all of the other creatures that we're playing by a long shot. So that's pretty nice. And it doesn't die, again, it doesn't die to Lava Coil or Lightning Strike or anything like that. So they have to have specific removal for this. It also has a reasonably nice ability that you can spend 2 mana and then give creatures you control +1/+0, and they give haste. So if we play like an Omnath or another Living Twister or something like that after Cavalier of Flame, we can pop that ability, give it +1/+0, or give all creatures +1/+0, and those things get haste too. So that's pretty nice. Let's move on to Chandra Awakened Inferno. This spell cannot be countered, which is kind of important. There's not a ton of counter spells going around right now just because Baby Teferi is in the meta, and people are not wanting to play things at instant speed as much. but this could be important, I suppose. Now, +2 is each opponent gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. That's really good. Once we get this onto the field, it's dealing 1 damage to them every turn that they can't avoid, which if we were playing Spectacle abilities, which we're not, that would trigger those, but that's fine. So, the main reason we play this is because her -3 is it deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. So this can basically sweep our opponent's board. If they have blockers for our elementals, we drop this in, -3, sweep their board, and then we attack them for the win with all our elementals. That's kind of how we want to be playing this. But it also does other things like the emblem, and her -X is deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead, which is actually quite nice because it's a versatile ability, right? We can do it for somewhere between 1 and 5, potentially even 6 if we're going crazy. We want to get rid of something, but this gets rid of things like Lyra Dawnbringer, big stuff that we don't want blocking us, and it exiles it, right? So if they're playing Rekindling Phoenix, we -3 for this, and we deal 3 damage to it, and it gets exiled, it can't come back, so that's very, very, very nice. So I think I've talked about pretty much everything in this deck. We're only running 23 lands, because we're going to be drawing enough lands that I think it's going to be fine with 23. We could potentially cut it to 22, but I'm worried about not having enough lands to play our Nissa or our other bigger things on curve. So we want to make sure we're hitting those on curve. So that's why we're playing 23 and not 22. I would feel risky about playing 22, but since this is the pre-release event, or not pre-release event, early access event, I haven't tested this much. I played it a couple times, and it's done reasonably well. So we're going to get in there and test it, and hopefully we can have some ideas for fine-tuning it as we go. But briefly, I do want to mention sideboard. We do have Lightning Mare and Vine Mare in the sideboard. These are both fun little horses that can come in against different matchups. So if we need a hexproof beater, right, we get Vine Mare, right, against control or something like that, or potentially against mono blue or Simic Nexus. Lightning Mare is actually a very good option against Nexus. So I think that's enough talking. Let's jump into a little bit of play. Okay, gamers, here we go. Game 1 with the Temur Elementals against Emil Skull VIP. I'm pretty sure I played against this person earlier. This is not a perfect hand, but it's completely fine, actually. It's not bad. So we'll probably just go Steam Vents first, and then I think on turn 3 we'll probably want to get... not that. We'll probably want to get down Risen Reef, just so that we go ahead and get this draw ability on all of our other elementals. Of course, it depends on what they've got. Dismal Backwater. Okay, not worrying about that. I'm going to show this first, so we do have Lightning Strike up. And we don't want to show that we're playing elementals yet. We can do that on turn 3 before we play our elemental. I'm also, I have no idea what I'm going to be going up against today. These are all brand new decks that I have not played because this is M20 stuff. We don't know what this is. Yeah, we go elemental. That's interesting. Let's go Risen Reef then. Yes. Take action, put that in, tapped. So we just got a free land. That's so good. That means we can play Chandra Pyromancer next turn. We actually won't do that unless we top deck another land. But this is... oh boy. Lotus Leaf. Okay, so here we can do... no, we're not going to do that. We're going to... yeah, we're going to play Overgrowth Elemental here first. Put a counter on you. We get Acolyte of Flame. Perfect. I'm actually going to shock this in just so we can have a Lightning Strike up. I know that might be stupid, but I'm a little bit worried about what they're going to show this turn. So we'll go ahead and get in 2 damage there and end the turn. I really like what we've got in hand right now. Chandra Acolyte of Flame with Risen Reef is amazing. And the thing I didn't mention, actually, is that, so Chandra Acolyte of Flame, you sacrifice those tokens at the end of the step, and so you're going to be buffing your Overgrowth Elemental up even more. So that's nice. Pass 2 attackers. I'm actually going to just Lightning Strike the face right now, just to be aggressive here, because I'm a little bit worried about where this is headed. Creeping Trailblazer is beautiful. Thank you for that. Oh, gosh. I'm going to play this first, see if we get a land here. Sorry about that. Okay, another Chandra Acolyte of Flame. We'll go ahead and play this as well.
Anyone need a fire started?
And we gonna do that.
Don't worry, I brought company.
Yeah, we want to reveal that. Put that in tapped. Dismiss. And we picked up an Omnath. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful, baby. So we're going to gain 2 life from this because these are going to die. And we put 2 counters on Overgrowth Elemental. So we do have to hope here that they don't have a sweeper. But the thing is, even if they do, right, we still have Chandra Acolyte of Flame on the field and so much in our hand. So this has lifelink. May sacrifice a creature whenever. Okay. Okay. They don't have any mana up. Yeah, they're saying good game, so I think this is a win for us. Let's do this. Pay 2 life. Do that. And then we're just going to kill them with Omnath. Yep. We play Omnath and they die. Yep. We will put that on the battlefield. Put it on you. Jeez Louise. Look at this. I have a full hand of cards still. This is insane. This is insane. Okay, so to be fair, we were playing a really slow deck that kind of allowed us... We were playing against a really slow deck that just allowed us to kind of get that combo rolling. But honestly, that was ridiculous, right? Risen Reef with Overgrowth Elemental plus Chandra Acolyte of Flame is bonkers. I think the thing is we probably need another Acolyte of Flame in this deck because that combo is so good. We should be potentially running a third. So, I'm very pleased with how that game turned out. Not every game is going to be like that, of course, but that one was particularly good. I love it. I love it. Oh, my man, Theorix6. Guys, check out Theorix6's channel. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. Very, very cool guy. He's actually helped me out quite a bit with my channel. Gave me suggestions early on, and he shouted me out before in one of his videos. So, yeah, please show him some love. If you're watching this video and you don't know who he is, go over to his channel, watch one of his videos, and let him know that Put sent you. Give him a nice hello there. We're going to... I'm going to actually go ahead and Lightning Strike Incubation Druid so he can't use it for mana, and then we'll probably just play this tapped and get a Creeping Trailblazer in. He's doing some wonky thing. I hate it when he plays Evolution Sage. He's probably doing like freaking proliferating sagas or something again. That's the exact deck I played against him last time we played against each other. He was playing proliferating sagas, so that's a terrible thing. I hate it. Alright, what you gonna do, homie? Shall I? Voice of Plenty. Okay, well, we need to get up to Omnath pretty quickly. Yeah, no blocks here. We need to get up to Omnath so we can play kill Shalai. We don't play Omnath yet. I think we go Living Twister here. Yeah, and then we just pass. It's a slow start for us. Very slow start. Oh, jeez. So Ajani's going to make it even harder to kill Shalai. But the good news is they can't attack. He can't attack with Evolution Sage because I can block with Living Twister. Now I could play. Oh wait, nope, because this has hexproof. Oh, Rootbound Crag is a nice pickup there. So what do we want to play here? Let's see. I think we go... I think I'll go Cavalier of Flame, and I'm going to discard... I think I'm just going to discard Creeping Trailblazer, see if we can get a land. Okay, we got a land, so that means we can play Awakened Inferno next turn. Yikes. We might just get blown up here. The good news is we do have Cavalier of Flame here, so I'm going to attack with Living Twister because we can block Evolution Sage with Cavalier of Flame. So let's go ahead and attack Ajani, because if we attacked the face, right, he can just gain the life back with Ajani because of the +1, so that's pretty ridiculous. Also, how stupid am I? I just Oh my god. I was like, oh, he attacked with Shalai, he can't block with him. But no, it has vigilance. What am I thinking? Yep, that's nice. Nice, dude. Oh, this is brutal right now. Jeez. This is dumb. I could play this and then Omnath. I think I just lose here because I can't kill... Yeah, I can't kill Shalai, and... No, I can't attack with that because Shalai will kill me if he doesn't block. Can't attack with you because you die to Evolution Sage. I can't attack with you either, so we just attack there. Yeah, and they take 7 damage, so that was pretty dumb. I should have attacked the Ajani there, for sure. I lose, I'm pretty sure. Can't think of any way in this deck where I come back from this. But we tried. We fought hard. We at least can survive 1 turn because we can block the Shalai here and potentially do something wild. Okay, if he attacks with Evolution Sage, that's pretty silly. No, because he's got Vigilance. They've got Vigilance. I should have killed Ajani already. What was I thinking? Yeah, I definitely should have killed the Ajani last turn instead of attacking the face. Though I did get 7 damage in, so that's nice. I play this, deal 3 damage to all of them. I mean, if I can't kill Shalai or Thyrix, I lose. So we're going to just attack all here. So there are a couple combat tricks I have up my sleeve. One of them being, I can buff him up by 4, so he becomes a 6/6. Or I can pop this, give them all +1. So this becomes a dumb ability to use. If he blocks with Shalai, if he blocks Omnath with Shalai, I kill Shalai. So I really want you to do that. Please do that. Okay, so he's blocking Cavalier of Flame with Llanowar Elves, which is fine. I think he's going to let Creeping Trailblazer go. Okay, he's got hard decisions to make. I understand. I understand that you have hard decisions to make. Yeah, I just freaking lose so badly here. Oh my gosh. Dang it. Yeah, he played this exactly right. He blocked exactly the way he should. He shouldn't risk Shalai. I was hoping he would make the mistake of doing that, but it's whatever. It's fine. I'm fine. I get 2 extra damage in with that, so that's a thing. Yeah, we'll just pass to damage, show him our power. So we do 11 damage. We take him to 5. And then we will concede the game there. R.I.P. Well played, Thyrix 6. Much love to you, brother. You just whooped me pretty good. With the... God. Shalai is good. Shalai is good. We don't have removal for Shalai in this deck. That's a thing. He played the Ajani at the perfect time. We had the Omnath play potentially, but yeah, he buffed it up. The one counter that he needed, he got it. So, that's a bummer. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. So let's play one more game here, and hopefully it doesn't run too long. The last two have been fairly quick, so that's pretty nice. So I do want to see how it fares against something slightly different than what we've gone up against so far, which has been some insane control thing at first, and then green-white, probably tokens, if I had to, maybe not tokens, but potentially tokens. All right, TJG. Let's see what you got for us. Well, yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's not great. I'm going to keep it. I will play this tapped. I don't really need to have the shock up, and I'm probably going to have to shock this in anyway. So, yeah. Knight of the Ebon Legion. That blows. So, we may... I'm actually going to play this tapped now so that I can shock on his turn. I don't like Knight of the Ebon Legion staying alive for very long. So they're playing Orzhov Knights. Orzhov Knights, that's an archetype right now that makes me sad. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shock Knight of the Ebon Legion now. And then play Creeping Trailblazer on our turn. Yeah, we'll still play Creeping Trailblazer, bring that in tapped, and then potentially have some plays next turn with either Chandra, Novice, Pyromancer, or Overgrowth Elemental. It's hard to say what we should play next turn. I'm thinking Lightning Stormkin and just attack all. Depends on what they show. They could have a History of Benalia here, which will screw us up pretty badly. I guess it won't screw us up that bad because we can definitely play Overgrowth Elemental still. Another Knight of the Ebon Legion. Okay, so he's also got enough mana where this is getting dangerous. Oh, so they're playing vampires. Okay, Orzhov vampires, which is definitely a thing right now. Definitely a thing you can do. Yeah, I definitely take the damage from Adanto Vanguard here. I hate to, because he's going to get a counter now. I could have blocked and made him take 4 damage to keep this alive, but what are you going to do? Yeah, we'll play Overgrowth Elemental. And then, partly because we just need the life gain. I'm not going to attack with this or anything, obviously, because it dies to Ebon Legion. So we don't attack, and then we hold up, and I'll probably end up just blocking it with... I may block here and block here if they attack like that. But they may also... Okay, I'm just going to block there instead of letting this get buffed up. And obviously he makes this indestructible, but I gain a life and make this a little beefier. So that's pretty okay with me. Legion Conquistador. That's not something you see very often. I respect the play. He already had one in hand, it seems. So... Wait a second. At the beginning of your end step, if a... Oh, I understand it now. I thought it was if your opponent lost 4 more life this turn. Put a counter on Ebon Legion. Well, wow. Okay. We are not drawing well at all. I'm going to play her and get rid of Legion Lieutenant. That's like
I'm ready to fight.
the best play we can make. It takes them down several notches. We're still in trouble. We're not out of we're not out of trouble yet. The good news is we can block and kill Knight of the Ebon Legion this turn unless they play another Legion Lieutenant. But if we block Adanto Vanguard, Overgrowth Elemental dies. I'm going to say no blocks. I'm going to say no blocks because I don't want him to have to pay 4 life just to keep this alive and let Ebon Legion get bigger. Temple of Silence. Very nice. Scrylands. That's something we're not playing in this deck. I did not want to play Scrylands because it slows you down. Of course, it helps you filter your draw so you don't draw a bunch of lands like we've been doing. But it is definitely slow. Okay. So what are we gonna top deck here? Something good? A Nissa? Nissa would be really nice. Oh, really? Really? Chandra Awakened Inferno is the perfect play right now. It is the perfect play. We can sweep their board, and unless they want to pay 4 life for Danto Vanguard.
Anyone who stands in my way is getting sizzled.
Of course, Knight of the Ebon Legion. Really? You're crazy.
Explosions are more fun.
Okay, what I'm scared of here is I'm very scared of a Sorin coming down and giving them lifelink, because if they get lifelink, it's just over. I think I attack. Wow. Okay, interesting. He blocks. I did not expect him to block there, so that means to me that he probably doesn't have a way to gain life this turn, which is pretty nice. You shocked that in? What are you crazy? What are you playing? What do you have? Okay, we're going to have to top deck really well from here. So we do lose Chandra Awakened Inferno, but she served her purpose, for sure. Okay, very nice. So we play Lightning Stormkin. And then Overgrowth Elemental. Okay. I was expecting a cast down there. They may be holding up a Despark, though, and Despark doesn't hit either of these, so that's great. Bloodcrazed Paladin. Interesting. Okay, you don't see that very often either. That sucks. So I lose 3 life, they gain 3. I'm gonna block that. Yeah, okay, cool. Shoot. Okay, well, we attack for 5 here. Dang, we're so close. We're so close. Oh my gosh. Do we, like, I'm a little bit worried that we die next turn. No, there are very few ways we could die. Okay, we die now. Nice. Nice, dude. You drew the card you needed. Well done. Well done. Well, we took him to 1. No blocks. I die. We tried hard. With a bad start, I felt like we had a bad start in that game. We tried pretty hard. Didn't and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. Am I right, guys? RIP Chester. Well, that's it for this deck, you guys. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. I actually do think we probably could do with more Chandra Acolyte of Flame here, and potentially I would probably include 1 more of these instead of Cavalier of Flame. I don't like Cavalier of Flame that much. It's too expensive for what it does. I feel like we just want more elementals is what we really need. And so Chandra Acolyte of Flame gives us that. It gives us more card draw. It gives us more life gain from Risen Reef and Overgrowth Elemental. Potentially we cut Living Twister. I'm not completely cut, but cut it down a little bit. I was not that pleased with how it played. I do like its toughness. It's just not that strong because it is only 2 attack, and it doesn't do a whole lot for us other than that. So I think maybe we cut that down as well. Let me know what you thought of this, though, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like, and if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe. I will see you guys next time on how to butter your biscuits. That's not a real thing. Bye.